2, go planet! By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
The 90s. Now last year on the show we checked out the Gundam series, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, but this year, we're in for a treat. The Blue Man.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers is a single-player 2D platforming game. It's developed by Chris Gray Enterprises and published by Mindscape. That was released for the NES, Amiga, Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum and Megadrive from 1991 to 1992. The game that's loosely based off the cartoon has a player controlling the Planeteers, traversing several stages of difficulty, using their powers to defeat enemies whilst avoiding bullets and projectiles. Captain Planet received average scores. Sega Pro gave the title 59 out of 100, referring to it as boring and repetitive, and Computer Games Magazine gave the game an 88. Let's check it out.
Who the hell is Captain Planet? What the fuck is a Planeteer? The animated television show had a series of 6 seasons that revolved around 6 main characters: the Planeteers, Kwame, Wheeler, Linka, G, Mati, Suchi, and Captain Planet. The show revolves around 5 magical rings, not that one, that resemble different powers based on elements of nature and heart that are given to our heroes from Gaia, voiced by Whoopi Goldberg, a spirit that does make a few appearances. The Planeteers must defend the globe from evil scum, known as the ego villains that sabotage the planet from trash and filth. Combining the rings together with some of the show's protagonists, titular Captain Planet, which helps our heroes in desperate times. It was a great show nonetheless, as was any in the 1990s, and come to think of it, the resemblance between this and Sailor Moon are uncanny. Now, let's talk about the game. It's alright. Similar to other titles like the Polar Express and Dracula, but not as terrible as, let's say, Lester the Unlikely. The player has a choice between several stages where they can traverse, climb and use their powers to destroy enemies, boss battles and trash. A somewhat generous health bar, and this I like. You don't take fall damage. However, I'm neutral on the music, don't like it, don't hate it. Expect quite a few puzzle solving elements as well that can be bloody confusing. There's a lot of platforming, like a lot, and if you're like me and suck at it, then you'll know that it gets irritating to say the least. It's also repetitive. The level designs are really not that big, meaning it gets boring, fast.
Oh, finally! What the hell do we even do? Okay. Oh, there's more of these things! Oh!
The game's plot revolves around the evil Zahn and 4 of his minions with doomsday machines, or whatever. Power pellets are used to destroy enemies, and you only have a limited amount, which kinda sucks. And there's a time limit, 1 hour to complete the entire game. I do like how the level designs revolve around the character's ability, such as heart power for converting enemies, but there's really not much going on. By the way, if you're going to watch the show, I suggest the episode where Sly Sludge shrinks garbage and our heroes for a substantial profit. The crew then have to build an aeroplane to escape the plan. Ironically, Sly Sludge's device is actually a good idea, but for some reason, the Planeteers have to stop him. God only knows why. Maybe it's because he shrunk them. My biggest complaint about this game would have to be the damn pipes in the background and everything else for that matter that is quite deceiving and blends in, making it near impossible to traverse certain levels.
Jesus Christ, is everything trying to kill you in this level or what? I take it back, this game's garbage. Ugh. Ugh.
I guess we'll give the game a pass, but it's still bloody annoying.
What the hell do we do, man? Oh, there we go. One more hit, I'm dead. Ah!
What else we got?
Like I said, they made a lot of these games.
The Simpsons Bart vs. the World is a 2D platforming game that's again developed by Imagineering, published by Acclaim, and shares many aspects from the other installment that was released on the Nintendo Entertainment System on the 22nd October 1992. The game that's based off the animated television series has a player controlling Bart Simpson, taking part in a scavenger hunt around the globe organised by Krusty the Clown, defeating Mr. Burns and his agents in several locations such as China, the North Pole and Hollywood. Bart vs. the World received mixed reviews. Whilst many publications admired features such as the graphics, trivia, and overall look, the title only received a 42 from Joystick, and All Games' Brett Allen's Wise referred to the worlds and puzzles as boring and childish. Let's check it out. So this is Bart vs. the World that I guess has nothing to do with the other installment, although most of the game has been reused, because, well, it's Acclaim and they couldn't give two fucks about any of their titles in the NES library. The game itself is basically the same, with some slight improvements. This first stage is a fetch quest, but at least Bart has the ability to shoot enemies, and other stages offer some variety of gameplay, even if it is annoying puzzles. Graphics actually half decent, and majority of the character sprites live up to the television series, although I'm a little confused on why Bart decided to visit China, North Pole, etc., and not bloody Australia, and our wank of a Prime Minister.
Hey, Mr. Prime Minister! Andy!
Aye, mate. What's a good word?
That's classic humour. The Simpsons, in my opinion, was at its peak in, let's say, the first 4 seasons of its airing. The show actually appeared as a short on the Tracy Ullman Show in 1987. Soon after, Fox Broadcasting and a team of production companies adapted the characters into a half-an-hour series that premiered on the 17th December 1989, but did not broadcast until May 1990 due to animation problems and a lawsuit.
And for some reason, Bart's eyes are all messed up. Can't tell you why.
Now, is the game alright, you may ask? Barely. I guess it's functional, but trust me, it's nothing special. Although it's a big improvement from the previous title, so in that regard, Bart vs. the World gets a solid 6 out of 10. I hate platforming.
You've got to be joking. Goodies me up, woman.
The Simpsons Wrestling is an animated sports fighting game. It's developed by Electronic Arts and Activision for North America. That was released on the 23rd of March 2001. The game features several characters from the TV series going head-to-head in 10 three-dimensional environments such as the Quickie Mart, Moe's Tavern, Power Plant, where the aim of the game is to deplete the enemy's health bar with several items such as food and letters, allowing the player to regenerate health/stamina with the ability to taunt. Simpsons Wrestling was negatively received by critics. Doug Perry from IGN described the title as choppy and broken. The game also received very poor scores with a 32 Metacritic, 2 out of 10 from Game Informer, and 1 star out of 5 from Next Gen. Let's check it out. Ooh, this is rough. A common example of button mashing. The gameplay is mediocre and there really isn't any skill involved whatsoever. Thankfully the game is fully licensed, so the dialogue is pretty on par with the animated television series. The music gives off a good vibe, I guess, but these characters, and well, the game itself, looks like crap. The movements feel stiff, and there really isn't a combo system in place, which leads to the player just spamming buttons. Yeah, fun. The player can collect letters and other items for an advantage, but I don't know, it's just balls and repetitive as fuck. Can be a little bit unbalanced too. Apart from unlockable characters such as Flanders, Moe, Bumblebee, and a few different arenas, this is all the game has to offer. And well, I got bored in under 1 hour. I'll give the game's gradual difficulty some credit, but some of these matches take a while, and I lost interest pretty fast. I'd hate to say it, but Bart vs. the World absolutely shits all over this game, and Willie's chest. The game's graphics, shithouse, and for God's sakes, ignore the outline textures that have been rushed and don't even line up at all. This was definitely a cash grab, no doubt.
These character models are so blocky. What the hell?
Don't get me wrong, I loved playing this as a kid, and it's somewhat entertaining and definitely faithful to the TV show, but returning to it after 22 years, this is horrible! I'll let you guys decide. Simpsons Wrestling gets a solid 5 out of 10.
Man, this game is shit. Let's finish up with some Nickelodeon gold.
Ren and Stimpy presents Stimpy's Invention is a single-player / multiplayer action platforming game. It's developed by Blue Sky Software and published by Sega. That was released for the Megadrive / Genesis in 1993. The game has a player controlling the main protagonist and allows the player to switch between the pair, traversing several stages of difficulty with abilities such as long-distance throwing and the use of Stimpy's nose as a weapon. Awesome. The title also has 3 boss battles named Lump Out, the Dog Catcher, and Automobile. Ren and Stimpy received generally favourable reviews and was praised for its graphics and gameplay and was released as a part of the Gold Collection for Europe and Australia. Let's check it out. Ren and Stimpy are fucking hilarious. The show aired from the 11th of August 1991 to December 16th, 1995 that follows our heroes, Ren, a short-tempered psychotic chihuahua, and Stimpy, a brainless dim-witted feline cat. The series heavily focuses on adult and dark humour, violence, sexual content, and is Nickelodeon's 3rd animated series known as Nicktoons, as well as Rugrats and Doug. You see, in the 1990s, people weren't as susceptible to media than they are today, where everything is offensive and bloody political. Artists could be as creative as they want, even if they were on LSD, or whatever. I won't lie, things were a little crazy back then, especially advertisement, but man, it was a golden age to be alive. As for the game, this is bloody brilliant. Graphics are actually some of the best I've seen on the Megadrive. Massive variety of sprites, animations, shades, and colours that make this title really stand out and pop. The plot revolves around Stimpy's machine, the Mutate-O-Matic, that for reasons unknown blew up, and our heroes have to collect the missing pieces and fix the damn thing. The player must traverse a number of levels and use game mechanics such as long / high jumps, spitting and swatting projectiles and enemies, as well as bowling and drilling. Works great. When it comes to the difficulty, this is pretty cruisy, meaning it's not hard and it's not easy. It can be beaten in about 40 minutes or so, which isn't a bad thing, as the gameplay is quite enjoyable. Bunch of lives and a few continues should see you to the game's end, with no dramas. The fact that Nickelodeon, a kids company, would produce and support something like this was just unheard of. There was also further controversy, which led the game's Animation Incorporated to take over and produce the last 3 seasons in 1992. However, a revival of the show for adult audiences was aired in 2003 on Spike TV with only 3 episodes and was cancelled due to it being absolute garbage. Too little, too late.
This is fantastic. Even the foregrounds and backgrounds, they look solid as, with some good details.
Call the zoo, Donkey Kong's on the loose. Seriously, why can't they make cartoons like this anymore? What the hell do we do here? Oh, okay. That's funny. Overall, Ren and Stimpy is honestly a great title for any age and is why you simply can't beat 90s anime. I'm giving the game a solid 9 out of 10 and highly recommend giving it a go.
We're not done yet. We have 2 more Nickelodeon titles next year, Rocko's Modern Life and Our Real Monsters. On B's Pizzas, and you guys know the drill.